Elephants in Thailand have a challenging and uneasy relationship with human beings. Despite being revered in Thai culture, wild elephants are seen as a rampaging menace, raiding crops from farmers, to be deterred at all costs. Loss of habitat compels the herds to feed further afield. But human-elephant conflict is a serious problem that needs to be solved for the sake of both the elephants and the people. A Dutch woman has teamed up with conservationists in Thailand and South Africa to tackle the issue. Their efforts are making a crucial difference to the natural lives of elephants in both countries. In 2008, Antoinette van der Water traveled to Thailand to volunteer for conservation work. After an encounter with a begging street elephant, she initiated an ambitious project under the name of Bring the Elephant Home. She arranged for two young, stressed street elephants to journey north over 600 kilometers to the Elephant Nature Park in the Chiang Mai province. A decade on and the park is thriving with over 70 elephants, all of which are now free from human mistreatment. But having been denied a life in the wild from an early age, they are still dependent on benevolent human intervention.
So the elephants that we brought to Elephant Nature Park, they have a great life. They are like in a big family. They had babies. The first elephant that we rescued in that horrible situation, she gave birth to a baby Chang Yim, and I was very lucky that I could see him being born.
From that special experience came a realization that was to change the course of Antoinette's life.
My dream always was to provide them a life almost like wild elephants, that they would have their own family and like have their social bonding again. And I always thought, because Dognern was still young, that maybe one day she will have her own children. But well, when she arrived here, I felt very disappointed that she was really afraid of other elephants and other people. She was actually trying to get away from all the craziness here. It took about, I would say, like half a year for her to really feel comfortable here and to connect with other elephants. And actually, the first elephant that she was close with was a baby elephant. She was trying to take care of baby elephants, and she was almost observing the behavior of other mother elephants and see how you can become like a nanny of other baby elephants. So you could see that she was really, almost obsessed with it, and that she really wanted a baby herself. And then in the end, after some years, we started to suspect that she was really pregnant, just because she got much bigger and she even got breasts and trying to give milk to baby elephants. And then one of my last nights here, I was going back to the Netherlands, I think the next day, and I didn't really plan to stay overnight in Elephant Nature Park. But we were just having a beer and I was chatting. It was just a very lovely night. I decided, okay, maybe I stay overnight here. So I went to a room, I fell asleep. And then in the middle of the night, somebody was knocking on my door. To the elephant shelter, now! And immediately woke up and I thought, okay, there's something with Dognern. So in the darkness, I ran to the elephant shelter and I arrived there and a big ball came out like a sack. And it was like, poof. And it right in front of me, and I saw the baby kicking in the sack, but it couldn't come out. And then it was quiet for a moment, and I was I didn't know what to do. It was kind of scary as well. And then Dognern, the mother, came and she started kicking it. And then I thought okay, I hope she doesn't hurt the baby. And then suddenly she kicked it again, and it splashed open and suddenly this little trunk came out. It was unbelievable. It was such an amazing sight. Then the others came. Doc Nim was like pushing the baby up, and like within a few minutes it was standing up. It's amazing. It was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. And then the mother was like making this sound like so pure and so alive, and yeah, she was immediately like comforting the baby, and all the other elephants were, the whole park, all the elephants were just making noise, like everybody knew what was going on. And that was the birth of Chang Yim.
Translated, Chang Yim means smiling elephant. While bonding between mother and newborn is important for both elephants, curiosity about other members of the group is frowned upon. Doc Nern reclaims her newborn in a fashion only elephants can manage. Baby elephants need between 7 and 10 hours sleep a day, and Chang Yim can power nap standing up. But it's time for his feed. She jostles her baby to pay attention.
Really lucky.
Yeah.
Chang Yim knows exactly what to do. He's just not sure from which part of his mother's body he should suckle. It takes a small human intervention to put him right. The baby elephant Chang Yim, bringing up the rear, is now a healthy 10-year-old at the Elephant Nature Park. Except for those elephants born in the park, most here have been damaged in some way through human exploitation. Chang Yim's father was one such elephant. Boon Kum was born in 1950 and was rescued from a miserable life logging and street begging. He didn't leave that life unscarred. Chained to a tree, Boon Kum was drugged by poachers who then took his left tusk. His body was also covered in sores and infected wounds from neglect. Once in the park, he was slowly brought back to health over a period of years, despite vets giving him a 40% chance of survival. He was fit enough to father Chang Yim with Duke Nern. There are 3 elephants in the park that enjoy the special privilege of wandering outside the boundaries of the park during the day. They are known as the 3 Ladies of the Hill, and each has special attention from their own mahout. 36-year-old Midu is another injured graduate of the brutal logging industry. She broke her right ankle, which didn't heal properly. She was also attacked by a bull in a breeding program and subsequently injured her back. Despite receiving no treatment for a broken knee and a dislocated hip, she manages to navigate the park. For over a decade, one of Midu's best friends has been Meilana. She's blind in her right eye and has partial sight in the other. She toiled in the rubber plantations and coconut palms in the south of Thailand. She was rescued in 2007 after a monk saw her street begging and took pity on her. The last of the 3 ladies is Sao Yai, or Big Girl, a youngster at 26 years old. She's ticked all 3 boxes of elephant misery. She was forced to perform in shows, did logging camp labor, and carried tourists on her back. She's had 2 offspring, but both were taken from her. Her temperament is unreliable, even with other elephants, and she reacts strongly against heavy machinery. Also 26 is 3 prey, which means feminine and smooth as silk. While working in the logging industry, she stood on a landmine. It took 2 years for her to recover, and after she was rescued, to everyone's surprise at the park, she gave birth to a male baby. Navan, meaning gold, will never be broken to serve human commands. He's a bold and demanding individual, always looking to be the center of attention. But he will never live the life wild elephants are born to live.
But to look further, to really think about what is important for the conservation of elephants in general, I want to focus on elephants in the wild now. There's still like 4,000 elephants in the wild in the forest of Thailand. There are many problems, such as poaching, human-elephant conflicts, and deforestation.
Forests are destroyed for human benefit. Almost all industrial activity usurps and unseats whatever wildlife may have flourished in the area. Building dams to control water is the inevitable result of an expanding population. Concrete and rubble offer wild elephants neither home nor sustenance.
Our new projects focused on reforestation, working with local communities, and to reduce human-elephant conflicts, to really make sure that wild elephants will have a chance to survive in Thailand as well.
Antoinette has good reason to be satisfied with helping elephants to gain their freedom from oppression. But a passion for conservation means devoting her attention to the wild populations and finding ways to remove conflict between both pachyderm and primate who don't always see eye to eye.
When the herd was passing, they were just walking and grazing, and you saw that the adults were missing out. And the males, they are normally alone, wouldn't want to collaborate, but they were actually very open and immediately, trying to...
Antoinette has brought the plight of the elephants in Thailand to a broader audience.
The elephants warn each other of the presence of bees.
She's written a book about her early adventures and regularly gives inspirational talks about what can be done to improve the lives of wild elephants with no more home to go to.
They're convincing other tourist camps to start with animal-friendly tourism as well. So the project is really doing very well. If you take risk, if you work with passion, if you follow your heart, if you get out of your comfort zone, and if you do what's really important, you can make a change. So thank you so much.
Since its inception in 1996, the Elephant Nature Park has rescued over 200 elephants. Intensely social animals, the elephants naturally form relationships and breed.
With our first campaign, Bring the Elephant Home, we showed that animal-friendly tourism is possible. At places like this, where elephants are living in semi-freedom, you can observe natural elephant behavior. You can see the beauty of elephants, how they take care of each other, how they bond. So for tourists, that is an amazing opportunity to get really close with elephants. So instead of riding elephants or seeing them in elephant shows, these places really make a difference.
At the nature park, there's only so much human care and charity can provide. Some physical and psychological damage can never be healed. But while the rescued elephants and their offspring live their lives as naturally as can be catered for, Antoinette's future path is to conserve the lives of elephants in the wild.
The Elephant Nature Park is like the first elephant sanctuary in Thailand. And at first, nobody in Thailand would believe that it would be successful, that people would actually pay to volunteer, for example, in an elephant sanctuary. But they've proven that it is a very successful model, and the Elephant Nature Park became very big. They started new projects in many different locations. They do great work to raise awareness about animal welfare. And by giving that example, many other places are copying that model now, and many with great intentions, that they really care for the animals and want to provide an alternative for all those tourists that want to be close with elephants. And there are also, of course, many that are doing it for marketing reasons, because they see that it's working really well and they want to copy the same model, but in the end, maybe it's still exploitation of elephants. So when I look back for all those years working in Thailand, I feel really proud of the development of Bring the Elephant Home, from such a small project of rescuing 2 street-begging elephants to many different community-based conservation projects and getting so many people involved in our foundation. I also just feel very proud that I can kind of walk away now and see that these projects are still moving on and still continuing. I was also very privileged that I could observe many elephants in the wild. And at this moment that I was just sitting somewhere in the forest, and it was like beautiful nature. It is so peaceful to have a whole group of wild elephants. I just thought about, this is what we should focus on. Like, this is really how the life of elephants should be and what I should fight for to protect. At the Elephant Nature Park, that chapter is done. I'm really glad how it went. I just decided we should change the direction of Bring the Elephant Home completely. We started to focus on wild elephant conservation. I started to think about what is the real problem of elephants, and I realized that all the elephants that are in such difficult situations is mainly because they're losing their habitat. In Thailand, they were used, for example, to work in logging camps. So ironically, they caught elephants from the wild and then trained them to destroy their own homes. Tourism is important for elephant survival. It's a way for people to see elephants in their natural environment. It's a way to really support elephant conservation and create income for elephant conservation.
Tourism also provides great benefits for the local economy.
It is really important that it's done in a sustainable and respectful way. And there is a big challenge in how to move it in the right direction. And there's also a big opportunity to really create positive projects and to create projects that tourism can really contribute to saving elephants. They are so important for tourism. People have this long history of living with elephants. And if you really think about that and if you observe elephants in the wild, yeah, you just really have to think, like, is it really, really right what we're doing to the elephants? And yeah, should we just all collaborate to really find a way to keep them in the wild? So for the elephants, it's a desperate situation, and Thailand is just so developed that in all these different areas, elephants are just trapped in a habitat that is not suitable for them to survive. And then there are local communities that have their farmland. If there's not enough food for the elephants, for example, and there is a plantation, and of course the elephants go to the plantations to find food there. So for both sides, it's a very difficult situation. It's a very complex problem to solve. For people, if they depend on their harvest and elephants come to raid their crops all the time, yeah, when it escalates, each year there are hundreds of people and elephants that get injured or killed. There's property damage, there's crop raiding. And we notice that each year it's getting more intense. People are struggling to coexist with elephants. We also notice that people in Thailand are also really proud of having elephants nearby. It also has to do with people just to be more tolerant and to be more kind and to just accept elephants in their environment as well. I think, like, if we can touch on that as well, just to have people to feel the pride again and to find ways together to coexist with elephants, then I'm really hopeful for the future.
Sacred to the people of Thailand, the elephant is nonetheless losing its habitat to a rapidly developing nation. Development and conservation are at loggerheads. Conservation for Antoinette is a literal way of life.
Conservation, well, it's my passion, it's my drive. And my dream is to inspire lots of people to become conservationists as well. And I believe it's one of the most important things that the world needs. And it gives hope, and it gives meaning to life. And I'm really grateful that I choose that path in life, and that at least can contribute to making the world a little bit better.
There's no denying the attraction of these animals, but there is a more fundamental reason for Antoinette's commitment.
The main reasons why I'm so passionate about elephant conservation is that they're also so important for the world. They're keystone species. That means that many other species depend on elephants for their survival. For example, they open up patches of forest, so there is a chance for grasslands to grow. When there's grassland, you have grazing animals. When you have grazing animals, you can have carnivores. They create water places for other animals. So if we would lose the elephants as a keystone species, it would affect so many other species. And the effect that would have on biodiversity is something we can't really oversee. And in the end, that would affect us all.
Wild roaming elephants certainly affect local crop growers. But how do you stop a 5-ton hungry elephant?
In Thailand, farmers often make their own electric fences, but that means that they take the electric directly from the main pole. Very often you hear that elephants get electrocuted.
There are ways to deter trespassing elephants. A ranger patrol has had reports of a female elephant testing the electric fence on a farm that shares a border with wild forest.
ให้ไปอยู่ก็ได้ครับเผื่อเขาออกทางเองที่ว่าของมันมีรอยพี่
At night, a ranger's job increases in both risk and difficulty.
นู่นจับภาพเลยจับภาพแล้วขอสองครับสอง
To encourage the elephant to leave the area, the rangers enlist the help of local monks.
โอ้ยใจสั่นหมดเลย
It's believed that their sacred animals are deterred by, of all things, drumming. An inhuman roar means the electric fence has been compromised. The female now brought low by the shock.
โอ้ยใจสั่นหมดเลย
She recovers, but the rangers and the monks are drawn further into the forest by another cry.
โดนมันยืนอยู่โดนหลายตัวหลายตัวนะอย่าเข้าไปพ่อมาอยู่ในระบาดแบบไหนภาพเยอะกระต่ายเร็วยก
The baby elephant will not free itself without help. People burn sacred incense to bring good luck or to request divine favor. While the anxious mother is still close, the team has to be patient. So begins a delicate rescue. The aim is to create an inclined path so that the baby can haul itself out. The animal is terrified, but there is no other way of helping it.
อย่ามาเย็นอย่าเย็นอย่ามาด้วยอย่ามาด้วยเดี๋ยวเลย
The pipe is compromised. It has to be broken for the elephant to get a purchase. Finally, an end to its torment. It's a happy ending for the elephant, not so happy for the farmer.
So for farmers, it's already a lot of money to set up a fence, and then if they have to maintain it all the time and fix it, and then they still get crop-raiding elephants. And so these people have very negative attitude towards the elephants.
To keep the fences from being torn down, Antoinette discovered another extraordinary method of keeping elephants at bay.
Based on research that has been done in Kenya, there's Dr. Lucy King. She discovered that elephants are afraid of bees. Actually, the way that she learned about it was because they were studying the communication between elephants. And scientists found out that elephants have like a different word almost, a different alarm call to warn each other for bees. And then they started to test first just with bee sounds and then with real beehives. And then there was this model beehive fences. So what they do is they hang beehives in a structure and then connect them with ropes. And when an elephant tries to enter a plantation, the beehives start to swing, the bees come out. That scares the elephant enough to actually run away. The reason why elephants are afraid of bees is because they have a memory of getting stung. Elephants have such a thick skin, but some parts of their body are actually very sensitive. So, for example, the tip of their trunk, around the eyes, the ears. And actually from an insect bite, an elephant can easily bleed already.
As well as the beehives, there are strategically placed infrared cameras so that the elephant's behavior can be monitored. The beehive fences deter those who've had experience of bee stings. But there will always be individuals who push their luck as well as the beehives. What can be disturbed can be put in place once more. Despite their very obvious differences, elephants and bees have one thing in common. As keystone species, they both enrich and enable the habitats in which they live. A third of humankind's crops is pollinated by bees and their kind. They are tiny, but enormous in importance. The footage is subsequently gathered and added to the wealth of information modern technology allows us to amass. The project in Africa is having the same effect on the Asian elephant's larger-eared relatives.
The biggest benefit, what we notice, is actually the sales of honey. To generate income from the presence of elephants, this creates a total different attitude towards the elephants, and people become much more tolerant as well.
After the wax cappings have been scraped off the honeycomb racks, they're put into a drum called an extractor. A gentle centrifugal force releases the honey. Once the level rises, it makes it harder to turn the lever. Excess honey is then filtered through a honey strainer into a bucket from which it is bottled. A new initiative using modern technology is brought in to manage the very real problem of human and elephant conflict.
We developed an app called Hector. So it's a human-elephant conflict tool for ongoing research. Most people in Thailand have smartphones. By downloading the app, people immediately feel like part of a research team. And it's such a useful tool for research. Like, to use technology made such a big change for scientists. And especially when you work on a project that has to do with communities. You know, there's so many ears and eyes out, and everybody has a smartphone in their pocket. And by using the app, people just take a picture. You have the GPS data, there's a map with all the details, and people just log into the app, like how many elephants they saw, what is the damage, and this all goes into a database, and different project managers can access the database, and you immediately get from a big area, you get like a complete picture of the impact of human-elephant conflicts, where community ranges are needed. It made a big difference for research, and it's just really amazing if you can use an app like this and involve local people in scientific projects as well.
Involving local people is the key factor in making the conservation project viable. Hector is designed to work all over the world. It allows users to report examples of human-elephant conflict in real time. It also has consistently updated information that helps the user to make informed decisions to reduce or eliminate the conflict.
We can use this technology to create more understanding about the elephant behavior in this area and how this data can help to think about future conservation projects and see what the elephants need and what the people need.
Concerned members of the community can easily and significantly help researchers understand what is causing elephants to leave protected areas. Their information and assistance will go a long way to establish effective means of intervention. Data collected via the app include an analysis of the reasons for unwanted elephant behavior, a summation of the damage done to human settlements and farms, and consistent data on the effectiveness of the methods of deterrence. Both Hector and Antoinette are bringing people together to solve the problem that is human-elephant conflict.
People are just very proud to be able to coexist with elephants. And in general, people still feel like this is the symbol of Thailand and this is such a spiritual animal. I really believe that there is a way to coexist with wild elephants and that it's not that complicated to realize it. The benefit of having elephants is much bigger than the loss that people would have from crop raiding. And if you look at that whole overall picture, then a solution, is possible.
Antoinette's time in Thailand had come to a satisfying conclusion. Conservation initiatives were in place, and good people were entrusted with their running.
I felt, firstly, that I really wanted to continue studying elephants. And I also felt in Thailand a little bit that it was difficult to reach a higher level. So I was thinking maybe another country. I was also, after so many years, a little bit like maybe it's time for a change. And also, with my age, I thought like if I want to make a big change in my life, I should do it now and not wait too long. It has to be in a country with elephants, of course. And then we traveled to South Africa for the first time, and like the moment I arrived, I met an elephant researcher that we really connected. And my girlfriend is from South Africa, and it just felt like everything was, it was just felt right. And I immediately decided, like, let's move to South Africa and start a whole new ambitious plan here.
Antoinette soon found a few significant cultural differences that would affect how she approached her work with wild elephants.
When I came here, people are much more rich. They have like electric fences around their property. You could see like they have big houses, big pieces of land. But then when an elephants come to their land, it's almost if they have a sense like this is mine, and on my land I can do what I want. We were looking for a nice place to stay for my first night in Africa. And then we just found that there's a Big 5 game reserve just north of Johannesburg. Dinokeng Game Reserve is a new project. It started in 2011. And this land used to be all private landowners. And the government wanted to create a project to support the local community here and to increase tourism in this province. Living in the bush is a new dream. It's happening. I'm suddenly living in the bush, and every day is different. I just start to feel like this is my world. I don't watch the news. I'm just concerned with everything that is happening in the bush, and I'm just very grateful to have that experience, and also have no idea where it's going to take me, how it's going to change me as a person. But I'm sure it's going to be like a great learning experience that, will help me grow as a person and as a conservationist. I live with the sound. So many people ask me, like, is there still hope? And I always feel it's my responsibility as a scientist and as a conservationist to always say, there is hope. Oh, that's amazing. Because solutions are not that complex. I just wish that many more people would get involved with conservation, or that many more people would just have an opportunity to see elephants in a natural environment and to see how amazing they are. With everything that is happening in the world, people are so disconnected from nature, and I think it's just with a little effort you can make a huge change.
Antoinette's perseverance and dedication to her beloved elephants can only inspire the next generation. There is still hope in the forest.